It is so annoying. This sound is haunting my sleep. So, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sneha and I make videos related to books, and welcome to my bookshelf series where today I'm showing you all my unread Indian fiction books. So yeah, I ended up taking quite a bit of a break again because we were having some work done in our house, so it was all a mess, and then I moved jobs as well, which was also a very chaotic time, and also I'm having certain health issues, so they're just like all of these things which fell together, and so I really didn't get a chance to sit and film videos. So that's why there hasn't been a new video on this channel for a bit, but hopefully I am back now for good. So today I am just showing you all my unread Indian fiction books which I mentioned. All of these books sit in the fourth shelf of my bookshelf, which right now is more or less empty. There are a few read books that I've just pushed to the back, but more or less I have an insane amount of unread books that should sit in the shelf, so I just thought I'll show them all to you. I've tried to segregate them into different sections, so I have a couple of authors that I have a big collection of which I'm yet to read, and I also have a lot of translated fiction translated from different Indian languages into English. I have a big collection of those as well, and then I have like other miscellaneous books, so I'm really excited to show them to you. So let's just quickly get started because there are a lot to get through of. I'm not going to give you detailed explanations for each and every book. This is just a tour, and maybe at the end I'll show you how I arranged them on the shelf. So that's it. That's enough of a disclaimer. Let's get started. So the first author that I have a big collection of, both read and unread, but right now I'm focusing on the unread books, is Amitav Ghosh. I've talked about my love for his writing multiple times on this channel already, and I mentioned that I have quite a bit of his backlist that I'm slowly making my way through. So these are all those books, the unread books that I have. Quickly showing them to you one by one. I have Jungle Nama by Amitav Ghosh. This is the folk tale on which The Hungry Tide is based on, and Hungry Tide is one of my favorite books, so I have this. I am yet to read it. It's in verse form, which is not my most favored form of reading, so that's why I haven't really picked it up. Then I have The Circle of Reason by Amitav Ghosh again. I picked this up in the Flora Fountain book market. I had exchanged some of my old books and gotten this in return. It's really old and in a really precarious condition. Then I have Flood of Fire by Amitav Ghosh. Again, I bought this from the same market. This is the book 3 in the Ibis trilogy. This is the only book of the trilogy that I'm yet to read. Hopefully we'll get to it soon. Then I have In an Antique Land again by Mr. Ghosh. Picked this up in a second-hand bookstore. I don't remember when. And I have Dancing in Cambodia and Other Essays again by Ghosh. Picked this up. Actually, I picked this up at least a couple of years ago, so it's due for a read. And I have The Living Mountain by Amitav Ghosh. This was a Secret Santa gift by, I don't know, my Secret Santa last year. So yeah, that's the book. Okay, so then I have Salman Rushdie books. I have 3 of these. I've read 2 of his books so far. I've read Shalimar the Clown, which I also have right here in the same beautiful edition, and I've read the recent one, which is Victory City. That's somewhere in the bookshelf. But the unread ones that I have on his shelf is The Enchantress of Florence by Mr. Rushdie. Picked this up again in Flora Fountain. I think I showed you this in one of the previous videos. Then I have Midnight Children again by Mr. Rushdie. I really need to get to this. I think this might just be the next book that I pick out. No, really needs no introduction, but I really love these editions so much. Now I have 3 of those, and the other one is East West by Mr. Rushdie. And the last author that I have a couple of books from is Mr. Vikram Seth. I've read A Suitable Boy and An Unequal Music by Mr. Vikram Seth, and these are the 2 unread books which are in my collection. I have The Golden Gate, which is a book set in verse. Now Vikram Seth is a very popular, I think he's written more poetry than prose, but I love his prose. So I want to read more of his prose, but I am okay to explore his verse form as well, so that's why I picked this one up. And then I have 2 Lives by Mr. Seth again. I picked this one up in Matunga. Yeah, in the Matunga book hall, and I really like these because it has like photographs inside. I really like this edition because of that. So yeah, excited to get to this one day, hopefully soon. Now when it comes to translated fiction, I will admit to the fact that I've ended up picking up a lot of books and I've yet to read many of them, whenever I'm visiting new cities or new places, I do love going to bookstores and picking up translated works of that language in those bookstores. So because of that, I have like books from Chennai, from Kolkata, from Hyderabad. Hyderabad, of course, is my native city, so I have a lot more books from there apart from just Telugu translated books. So yeah, so please don't come for me. I know I have the problem. I just like showing these books to you. I just like these kind of videos, so that's why I'm doing those. Anyway, let's start. The first one is something that I picked up in Goa. This is No Flowers, No Wreaths by Orlando da Costa, and it's translated by Isabel de Santa Rita Vaz. I picked this up in one of my Goa trips. I don't remember which one, because this is originally a Portuguese play and it has been translated into English, and it's kind of like a family drama play. I haven't read this obviously, so yeah, that's the first one. Then I have the Perumal Murugan books. I have One Part Woman by Mr. Murugan, translated by Aniruddhan Vasudevan. This is the one that I've read. This is book 1. And then for this book 1, there have been 2 sequels. I have one of those sequels, which is Trial by Silence. So yeah, I have these 2 books. I don't have the third one, which is A Lonely Harvest, but I've read this, yet to read this. Then I have a book that I picked up from Pondicherry. This is The Tinnai by Ari Gautier. It says the original is written by Blake Smith. The original is written in French and it's been translated, and this is the translated version. So Pondicherry was a French colony of India, and it was for the longest time. I think they got independence in the 60s, if I'm not wrong. So there's a lot of influence still left in that colony. So that's why this looked like a very interesting book to understand more of that perspective. So that's why I picked it up. The Tinnai is like this bench outside of South Indian homes, and my native place has a lot of like bungalows and cottages with the Tinnai, which we call something else in Telugu actually. But yeah, for me this also has a symbolic meaning because it takes me back to that part of my life when I used to have summer holidays and I would visit my native village. So yeah, this one, Pondicherry pick. And then in a similar lines, I have a Telugu book. This is The Liberation of Sita by Volga, translated by T. Vijay Kumar and Vijay Shri. I've tried reading this. I think I've read like 20 pages of it and somehow I've not been able to make headway into it. I will go back into it because it's very, very heavily acclaimed, and I do want to read this because my mother tongue is Telugu. Excuse the drilling noise that you can hear. I think it's just, most of the construction is done in my apartment, but there is still some, and it's just constant. I have to film this right now, so I'm going ahead. Then I have 2 books by Arunava Sinha, translated by Arunava Sinha from Bengali versions. The first one is Chauringi by Shankar. I've tried reading this. I got 50 pages. I think you can see my markings as well. I think I got around 100 pages into this, and I somehow was not in the mood for it, so I kept it down. I do intend to get back to this. And then I have Moom by Bani Basu. This I had picked up in Calcutta when I was visiting 3-4 months ago. So yeah. Then I have this mid-sized tome, Delhi, A Soliloquy by M. Mukundan, translated by Fatima Evi and Nandakumar K. This was the winner of the JCB Prize for Literature in 2020, and I think I picked this up in 2021. Yet to read this. So this is set in Delhi, but it's about Malayali refugees in Delhi in the 60s. So yeah, I think that's a great perspective. I will get to it, I promise. Then a book that I picked up in Chennai. This is Hungry Humans, and it is written by Karichan Kunju, and it's been translated by Sudhar Tilak. Got this in Higginbotham's, and yeah, I mean, it's a souvenir of that trip as well for me. It says it's an exploratory novel. Again, yet to read this. I think I read a few pages of this on the flight, but I could not get into it. Will soon. Another book I got a little into, and then I couldn't, for some reason my attention wavered. This is K.R. Meera by Jezebel. This is Jezebel by K.R. Meera, translated by Abhirami Girija Sriram and K.S. Biju Kumar. This again was a Secret Santa gift last year. Yeah, again, got 58 pages into it. Somehow the narrative really didn't stick with me. I do want to give it a second chance, however, because it has been highly acclaimed. And I'll get back to you with my thoughts. Then I have a Gulzar book, Footprints on Zero Line. This is Writings on the Partition by him, translated by Rakshanda Jalil. Very highly acclaimed author, very highly acclaimed poet, writer, everything. He's a master at what he does, and I've always been interested to read more of his like prose as such. Then I have Kabar by K.R. Meera. I picked this up in the Westland closing hall. It's been translated from the Malayalam by Nisha Susan. Again, this is one of those books about, I think this is about Ayodhya, the Babri Masjid demolition in Ayodhya. Yeah, it's a thin one. I really should get into this quickly, and I will report back when I will. Then I have The Princess and the Political Agent by Binodini, and it's been translated by L. Somi Roy. This is one of those, I think this is the Penguin 35 Years in India collection. I picked this up recently actually, yet to get to this, but this is a story set in the northeast of India, and it's about one of the princesses there, like one of the royal families there, and it's supposed to be a very classic tale, and I'm interested, so that's that. I have Baluta by Daya Pawar. I recently hauled this. You can check that video out. I won't get into this too much. Another recent haul is The Music of Solitude by Krishna Sopti. I bought this in Hyderabad, and it's translated from the Hindi by Vasudha Dalmia. Again, check that video out. You can get a little more thoughts of me in that video. The next book I have is Tamas by Bisham Sani. Doesn't say who's translated this, but I'm pretty sure this is a translated book. Again, one of those books that I tried reading. I got 40-50 pages into it, and then I just could not. For some reason in the last 2 months I've picked up Indian books, or actually books in general. I read a few pages and my attention wavers, and then I'm done. So I can't read it more than that. But this is a partition book. I'm very interested in reading this. I will soon. Another such book that I got majorly, I made progress into, but then I could not, and I don't have the heart to call it a DNF, is Tomb of Sand by Gitanjali Shri, translated by Daisy Rockwell. Again, this book really doesn't need an introduction. It won the Man Booker International last year, and it's the first Indian book to ever win that, so it's very prestigious. I've tried reading this. I got like 100 pages into this, as you can see by this really pretty bookmark that I still have in this book, by the way. I hope to return to it. I don't know when I will. I don't know if I can, but let's see. I don't want to be the only reader in this entire country who has DNF'd this book. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody else has DNF'd this book. So that's why I want to give it another chance. And then the last translated book that I have in Indian fiction is Valli by Sheila Tomi, translated by Jayashree Kalatil from Malayalam. And this is set in the Vindhyas, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, in the Western Ghats, and it's in Kerala, and it's something related to nature. I don't know too much about it. I bought this because again it was very highly acclaimed, and I'm excited to get into this. Okay, so most of the other books, they don't have groupings. They're a little random, so we can quickly run through all of them. I have two of these Penguin Orange classics. I think one of these is I think this one is a fake. This is Train to Pakistan by Khushwant Singh. I bought this in a bookstall in Hyderabad, but I think this is pirated because the print is a little off, and it's a little taller than this one, because I know this is original. This is The Guide by R.K. Narayan. I thrifted this from an Instagram page because I love R.K. Narayan. I want to read more of him. So yeah, these are the two Penguin Orange classics in Indian fiction that I have. Then I have Brick Lane by Monica Ali. I don't think this is properly Indian fiction. Some of these books, I do want to disclaim, are now more into South Asia, like in the subcontinent. So I think this is a Bangladeshi couple who lives in London. I think the story is about that, but I just love this print so much. So there's something about this print that gives me joy. So yeah. Then I have Copper Mountain by Thupten Sampal. Again, this is set in Nepal. This is set on Mount Kailash. So not Nepal, sorry, Tibet. So yeah, again, more on in the subcontinent. I have Narcopolis by Jeet Tail. Very acclaimed book. It was a shortlisted book for the Booker in 2012. I've never read Jeet Tail. I want to read Jeet Tail. That was the reason I picked this one up, and then I'm yet to read this. So I will get to this hopefully soon. Another Goa pick, The Baptism by Tony Kalangut. This is written by Sudeep Chakravarti. I meant to show this in my Goa haul. Some reason I couldn't find it, but this is the book that was supposed to be in the Goa haul that I posted, I think, a month or so ago, which I'll link up above, of course. This one surprisingly also I picked up from Goa, but this is a Pakistani book. This is The Season of the Songbirds, written by Nadeem Aslam. Season of the Rainbirds, written by Nadeem Aslam. Yeah, so this is a Pakistani book. I picked this up because it was a Pakistani book and I'm yet to read this. I tried reading this also actually, but I could not make ways into it. So yes. A Rohinton mystery book that I am yet to read is Family Matters. I have read at least 3 books of Rohinton mystery and I've really loved them. So that's why I picked this one up, because if I love an author, I always read their backlist. So yeah, that's that. Another Calcutta pick. This is Jorasanko by Aruna Chakravarti. This is one of those books that everybody recommends if you're talking about Bengali literature and Bengali books. It is set in the Tagore family, illustrious Tagore family, but it's about the women of the family. So yeah, such an interesting premise. So hence, I bought. Then I have Pieces Come by Parismita Singh. This was again one of those context / Westland closure book hauls that I had done. Now Westland is not shut, actually you do get their books, but anyway, because of that, thinking that they are shut and I lose those books forever, I bought a lot and this is one of them. But this was also highly acclaimed because this is set in the northeast of India, which I have 3 books of that territory now and I'm yet to read even one. So yeah, I have a problem, I know. Then I have Selection by Arvind Adhika. I bought this in the Lock the Box book sale that I had gone, which I linked to. Then I have The Bellboy by Anis Salim. This is again a recent acquisition. Yet to read this, but this is set in a hotel, which I'm very excited about. I love that premise, which is the precise reason I also have, what is that book? Yeah, Chowdingi. Yet to get to this. Yeah. Moving on. I have Suncatcher by Romesh Gunasekaran. This is set in Sri Lanka, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it is set in Sri Lanka and it is in the zone of the Civil War, if I'm not wrong. Again, a subcontinent book for me. And another northeastern book that I'm yet to read is Funeral Nights by Kinfam Singh Nongkiran. I know I have murdered that name, but that's the author's name if anybody's interested in the reference. Again, this one's a tome. This is like a 1500 page book, if I'm not wrong. Oh no, a 1000 page book. Yet to get to this, but I picked this one up again because I thought Westland was shutting down. Turns out it didn't shut down, but anyway, this is actually one book that I am interested in reading and I will soon, I promise. Similar veins, because I thought Westland was shutting down, Incantations Over Water by Sharanya Manivanan. I would have bought this one anyway because I loved her first book that I had read, which was The Queen of Jasmine Country. I really loved that and I wanted to read more of her. And this is actually a graphic novel. So wouldn't have been my first pick, but then I picked it up anyway. So yeah. Now that the thuk has started, I will stop talking because oh wow, okay. Because those are all the unread books that I have in my Indian fiction selection. Now it's time to arrange them in my bookshelf, show the final outcome to you and end this. Okay, so here's the view of my Indian fiction shelf. All my unread books are on the front. The second layer, which I'm not showing you because I've anyway talked about those books before, are all my read books. So starting off here, I've arranged all my thicker hardback books, moving on to my Amitav Ghosh books, moving on to my Vikram Seth and then Salman Rushdie and then the one Rohinton mystery and then like a bunch of other books. So I've grouped the 2 Arunaval Sinha books together and the 2 Perumal Murugan books. And then I have the 2 book editions which are the same, and then the rest are all the random books that I have, and then these have a perennial collection. The books are also the same. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's it. That's my Indian fiction TBR. There are way too many books that I am comfortable with. I am focusing on paring it down, I promise you. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much if you're still watching, if you're still around. It means the entire world to me. And please like, share, comment, subscribe if you like this video, you want to watch more. There are a lot of videos that I filmed on this channel which you can watch, and I'll see you next time. Bye.